I feel like making if there was like some chocolate ice cream, right? We should have got that. You know what? You know what? Give me some mocha.
What do you think this is?
I'll get it.
You ain't online yet.
I
You
am.
ready?
I am.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said.
Alright, here's Fuse. Here's Fuse. Yeah, door. Keep squeaking.
Hello. How's everyone?
Here's some mocha loca.
Good.
Here's some mocha.
Okay.
Some mocha loca.
Give me a sec, guys, so that I can speak to you all. I want to be clear. I'm trying to cover my head out of respect. We're here to conform. We're not here to litigate, to delegate. We're here to observe. We're here to be silent. We're not here to boast. We're here to testify. Most of it your own testimony. For certain things to surpass you and what you can see through you, that you have the sincerity and the patience to see through and beyond yourself. These things we grasp, yet we don't hold on to. We understand. It is not depleting you before it has hurt you. No longer will it hurt. We are equals to ourselves. Image for a purpose to oneself. A virtue. And an introductory to yourself. And double grace. To come to you the second time and see that you have double grace. So that you at your virtue or your virtuous level. So that means, what do you do when you know? If you are at double grace, that means you will still have the capability of being yourself. Your main importance is you standing in your true virtue, allowing for someone to sit there and also see that for themselves, but also This is why they feel exhorted, exonerated. There we go. So you still would give thanks. Even when you know, you still give thanks. And you still smile even when you know you still smile. And you still stand even though you know. And you're going to continue to stand. You're going to work on you enough for them to work on them. And as you continue to work on you, the situation would enforce death upon them, not you, because you're not the one that's doing harm. These things concerning the coming. These things you are aware of, so you still stand true. Wow. And you will bear testimony to yourself because you're still standing pure. And you're still standing true. And yet they still come forth and tempt and test. If they should understand to heed the way. This is why they feel a specific way. Am I doing good? Or is this hurting me, right? You are conducting yourselves within your virtue and experiencing yourselves within God and yourself too. Double grace. Hopefully God finds you in double grace. Your intention is for you to remain steadfast and to also be confident as He comes to you. Do not be afraid. I believe the intention was of a Judas temptation, I believe. They need to understand, what are you exactly? For the most females, we are in the newest times, which is considered the New Testament. I know God did implement for us as a woman to be as silent as possible and convey a form of quietness which is pure in your own wisdom and servitude, also to the respect of the Most High. That if He placed you in a position to give you the authority, would you know that within your confident selves to speak? And would you know who you are as you stand? Except that no woman would profit. But who said that you are one? So if you are the splitting image, like a mirror, unto others for them to see of their own reflection, then who actually are you? It's to convert, infuse, not to consummate, not to consume. Before, when you were in practice, the consummation was first because you had to let go of the constellation. You can no longer hold that. So now comes the conversion here. As a testimonial before you, for yourself, to be as a witness. And that He finds you. These things have not been in vain, even though you previously suffered. And a lot of you endured struggling. And also because of your own inner deceptions and uncleanliness. And Him exonerating you. Enough to exalt you and to continue to clean you. So your own witness to yourself as your own deemed redemption. Some of the things you do not know, as you continue to do for God, He is continuing to clean you. He's seen before you that you were going to focus on Him, and that has been declared. Even when you had no hope within you for some reason, he already seen that was what you were going to do. To reduce the ashes and the dust of the cities and of the nations, that is your intention, and to rescue the righteous from Lot and those that have been oppressed and suppressed. He's already fabricated you. Their destruction does not slumber, because of the intentions that they had before you no longer is working against you. To defile you and to despise. Angels, though they are greater in strength and power, do not bring a violent judgment against them before the Lord. Hey. It's just to bring peace without no slander or heresy, without no stresses or judgment governmental needs or means. Bringing the saints of different ages in orderly life, charging the slaves to behave well in the social system, charging the saints to keep a good relationship, and dealing with factious ones, and establishing the authority in the churches. I believe that one is out of the picture right now. The church could be within you because of your life imparting grace, and in your indwelling spirit or dwelling spirit, through his dwelling spirit. Thank you, God. And what is needed in the eternal grace of God, which is given to us in eternity, to conquer evil, and do not be conquered by evil, but conquer evil with good, right, and being the subject to authorities. There is no authority except from God, and those which exist are ordained. A simplicity. Very simple. Mercy in your cheerfulness, and rejoicing to endure in tribulation. So not to conform, not to degrade. It's the subjects. Not to objectify, nor neither not to judge. Just to solidify. The gathering, leave that to him. And the closing, also leave that to him. Prosperity, and it being a genuine one. You. Actions deemed otherwise, right or left of you, or behind of you, that would not be your punishment to uphold. Leave that to God. Yours is to continue to move forward. And also to continue within yourself on what deem affects you, so that you can conquer and overcome that, like the warriors that you must are. That's it. Look straight ahead before you. Be your own testimonial and help to testify on your behalf. That means your life. The changes that you've made. Nothing more nor less should really concern or worry you. And the answers that you're looking for will be clear as day. Luke 22:46-58. Arrested. A crowd came, he's called Judas, one of the 12 was going before them, drew near to Jesus to kiss him. Are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss? Manipulation. Let them go this far, on touching his ear, he healed them. He healed them. God came prepared with a sword. Wasn't the one that was hanging from the tree killed himself? Because he deserted and deceived himself. Because he believed that Jesus was full of blasphemy and lies. To give him away for pieces of silver. An offering. A buyout, that means a sellout. To sell someone out. Usually a sellout doesn't only have to be with silver. A sellout could be someone realizing the situation at its whole because of what was permitted and what someone did not deem to believe, and be patient while on their journey. It's like a bird feeding in the ear. And because they want to be part, not outside of the crowd, they want to be in it with them. Friends, familiarity. If I'm not part of, then I am not accepted. If I'm not accepted, then what should I do? Yeah, giving someone away. One of the 12. Someone near. It's always the one closest to either one of God's fellowship or one outside of God's fellowship. And then there was denial. And then there's the other person outside. That means two. Peter and Judas is saying, I am now. So Judas betraying. And Peter also denying. I don't know if somebody wanted to be falling asleep, just did not want to listen or see. It's crazy how God still healed. You know when God wants to go ahead and say, why are you sleeping? Do you not see? Not patient at all. And yet not realizing the situation. They thought it could have been someone mocking or foolery. And now they're suffering within themselves, realizing the truth. They're seeing it, but now they don't know how to turn things around. So there's a difference when someone sells you. You still have to go through the consequence. It'll just be a lesser consequence. That means a lot of people already know. They counted the ways. And even though they were concerned, they accomplished it. They came with nothing, a bag and sandals, and yet they still lacked nothing. And they were not satisfied, so they still wanted more. And it's just that instead of saying, I'm not ready, or I cannot do this, or I can't continue with this, they chose to stay, knowing what they were going to do and what they had planned to do. Not really caring if they hurt the other person or not. For the most part, God keeps saying, you're still going to be saved. There were plans and plots against you, and you still rose up. This is not the time to sleep, that you may not enter into temptation or be swayed by anything that you will be receiving pretty quickly. That is not your victory. Hence, if anyone comes forward, it's because of guilt. Do not take so quickly. He who has no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. Serve the host of heaven, even as it is written in the book of prophets, did you offer slain geese and sacrifices to me. All this time, most of you were the mirror. All this time, you asked yourself, I'm the wrong one. All this time, they did not see because your veil was not ready to be lifted. They seen wonders and signs. And yet they wanted more. And yet they were not satisfied. Most of you are not here to wage war. Now you know exactly what your position is. You're not here to hold chains or bound anybody. If they go, let them. You're not here to hold anyone back or slain them or make sacrifices. You've made many. You've made plenty. Even when you were not willing, you still made. Hence, a lot of you already had it written and redeemed yourselves as it appears. Some of you for 15 years, some of you for 40 years. And it kept on going. And you told yourself, why? Have I taken on for other ancestries and families? Was it my job to uphold 15 years of suffering? And yes, God forgive me and redeem me for my approaches or reproaches most of the time were made on my end of my choices, not anyone else's. I turned away from my hand, I turned away from my heart to you. My ear was on my left side instead of my right. It was not forward, nor was it justified, nor it did not present a specific pattern of my desire for you. But now I go before you, and now you have risen me up to actually see clarity in the truth, even if it deems me pain. But now I'm here to rise up and willing to serve you and to help your people because I've been there. I've drowned it myself 200 million times, I can't even count the ways. And it's not even presented enough for God to even want to deem to save you or heal you, and yet here He is healing all of you. Rising up before you, even when you are in the wilderness and you don't even know where you're headed from here. Instead of taking away, ask God then, who is He, Father, and why did you present me around Him or them? Who are they, Father? If they're not prophet or priest, then what are they? Do you believe that a woman or man, if God gave them authority to redeem themselves and surrendered to sacrifice their life for other people, to sacrifice their life to do God's work, to save people? Do you not understand that days are coming too? What would be the opposite of a shadow watcher? Those that have the ability to allow others to see of themselves. Enough for them to become alive. and also casting out the darkness within them. Charged. Why not say, as we are slanderously charged, and as some affirm that we say, let us do evil that good may come, whose judgment is just. But what if some disbelieved? Shall their unbelief annul the faithfulness of God? Absolutely not. Let God be true and every man a lie, as it is written, that you may be declared righteous and your words may overcome when you are judged. So the natural truthfulness is what allows you to be different in the light. Because it's not coming from you. And that's why I believe God said, let me come to you and allow me to find you with double grace. We believe enough, even that of the naked eye, to carry that faith and to still believe, and to overcome with courage and bravery and confidence, to know that He is by you, watching you, and because you believe but you yet cannot see, that's why there's a return, and that's why these things are happening. You could be sitting outside, because it does happen. Not a human being can say no. What if you're sitting outside and you're just looking up at the sky? In the corner of your eye, underneath the door, you see a nice, beautiful light pass by swiftly, quickly. He does not have to be invited. Whoever God is working with, what He is saying is, don't be afraid to speak or feel a sense of terror, being terrified. Thank you, God. And overcome your fears. The old times, the old days, that's long past. God changes people gracefully, gradually, swiftly. They don't even have a thought of their mind of what you said, how you said it, if you said something wrong, if you believe that you feel terrible, you don't know how to deem to turn things around, you believe that there's going to be a form of rejection, you need to let that go. God works with His people from the heart, the soul, the mind, and to be of service to all, not just one. So stop being afraid to speak, because you believe that you don't have the authority to state something. You can talk. Anger perceives our mind, frustrations, all that leads us to say things with our sword. Things that we don't mean because it has not hit the heart. It's only hit your mind. If God's people can change, why can't you? If one was not there, then it was not part of your roots. If God took them out, they were never yours to keep. and they were never meant to be kept. If you were there, then just be grateful that you were there and that they know you. Whether it was good lesson or bad, they would still remember you. Eyes are keen to the mind and the heart and the soul, but when God lifts you and rises you, the past is not there no more. If we ate an apple and we say we don't like it, and yet we see someone eat an apple and they say, well, I like it, just so that you can be part, you would still say, I stay. Give me a piece then, let's talk. But you really don't like it. Did you do it out of ego or pressure? Or did you do it out of respect? Not to lead that person astray, but to keep them company for compassion and being of it you, and communicate and converse. Would you disrespectfully state when someone says, come in, come eat at my table, and you see the food there, you don't really eat it, nor do you like it, would you still be deemed disrespectful, or would you sit? That's the difference. Judgment is justified through your transgressions. Would you consider yourself dishonorable if you were next to your uncle or cousin, possibly maybe at a park, in the dark, the dawn before dark, and they tempt you and say, come follow me, because where I'm going, I don't feel safe. Then if you do not feel safe, then why do you tell me to come with you? If you are not safe, would you not protect me? So why would we walk into danger if the streets are merely dangerous? Are you tempting me? I must go. Do you believe that that person would see you as weak or strong? Or would your ego get in the way and say, I will protect you? Let's go. Who pressured who now? Whose approval is most of excellence and from the will instructed from within? Is it outside of you? Does it make it any different? And how are you teaching yourself enough to teach others? And what's the actual meaning to confidence? Is it self-awareness? Is it growth? Is it for the intention of attention, or the dwelling of what should have been from what could have been? Truthfulness is within you. It's abounded within you. God has given it to you naturally. You're not being blasted. You're being honest to yourself. You're following your instincts and your intuition. If your partner says, set aside from that person, I do not believe that they are good for you, and your partner does not adhere or listen to you, was it of their own insecurity? Would you not know the truth before you? Oh, you're just speaking slander. Why would you tell me not to talk to them? I believe you feel like you don't want me to be around anyone or talk. No, I care for you. I am concerned. No, you tell me this all the time. God speaks through many people, as it is written. One is not forewarning you of something, because they already have you. They are already with you. You've known that they've chosen you. They fight in other ways for you. And that's one of their ways. What was the purpose of God giving us an ear? Someone says, "Oh, I'm hearing you, really, but are you listening?" Listening first starts with the eye, enough to adhere with the ear. It is best to be honest with the sword, because the eye speaks the truth. One is slanderous and lies with the sword. The eyes will tell it all. It's astonishing how someone can look constantly right and left, right and left, right and left without no thought process. Quick on the mouth, less on the soul and the heart and the mind that is connected, and believe that you know nothing. God has approved most of you, not just religiously, and He has entrusted you with His gifts. Do well by Him. He can take it away quickly like a thief in the night. Don't take advantage of these gifts. Take care of them. They are about to grow stronger. He's charging you up like a battery. I had to say it that way. Yeah. Your circumstances, because of your redemption to yourself, to oneself, would be your testimonial towards your examination to oneself. Understand that, not towards others. Let God do what He wills towards others. That is His priority. Do not bring judgment to yourself. Don't do that. Don't have a sense of a distinguish. Make sure it's legit. It's legitimacy. It's legitimate. Your separation, you believe that it was not a mere distinction, but you guys need to discern on your end as to why there was a separation. You were not being, why you guys felt out of pocket, discriminated. If you were separated, you were not a string. If you were separated, it was for a reason. Until He comes. I don't know why you guys feel guilty within your own temples. Other people say, "I'm hungry." Because of your transformation, you don't know what to do. You eat it away, and others is drunk. You're questioning yourselves. The First Supper, also in the Spirit. That is different if you're drunk within the Spirit. I shouldn't say that terminology. Especially in the night. Some of you guys will know what you are and who you are, and why you implement messages in portions. Some that did not listen when God said to be silent. Some of you might be getting headaches and stuff like that. He was not done with you. Some of you did not listen. But I'm not a messenger, nor am I a prophet or priest. My calling is completely different. Hi, Ole. And yet I still should cover my crown even though I have hair. But you're okay though. Or you're gonna be okay. You will still be established. Just remember not to do it again. And to go within first and have confirmation with the Most High before you take initiative, knowing you're not supposed to yet. This is already the 16th. But everyone is different. Only God knows the time and the dates and the places. Not I, not unless He gives me that information. Not until He calls you to His table. Incarnated. John. He would be one with man. A mystery. A mysterious trinity. A transfiguration. Three coexisting and cohering, and abiding with the believers for their enjoyment. Any of you guys have questions? $390 views. What's your question? No, poetic. No gifts. But thank you. No gifts. No, you're fine. Don't apologize. You did it out of your heart. You're okay. It's okay. You're not sure what to ask, Dustin. Ask God if you're not sure. You're already dwelling in it. You know what to ask, you just don't know how to ask it. And only you and God have that relationship. It hits right here. So if it's hitting you right here, there's a way that you want to ask it. And sometimes it doesn't have to come out from the mouth. God can feel it. He can feel your pain and your transgression of how you want to express it. Most of the time, prayers don't have to be from the tongue. It's a relationship of union, oneness as a whole. He knows it before you even speak it. So he knew you already wanted to ask a question. And because of your solidified servitude, your questions will not just be answered, but it will be felt. And this is how you will know. I don't know how long you sat in that transgression, but at least give thanks that you did. That's why you are where you are now, and you are who you are till this day. And I believe your children can thank you for that. You're showing them a better understanding of how to become a better version of themselves, the way they look through you. You may believe that you're not in participation with most things, but you should believe why you believe that, based off of the experiences, yet has nothing to do with the now. So you can walk safely now. You're not being bounded. These things are evident. They're already showing you. And the fact that you're grateful that you're breathing yet alone, even at times when we have nothing, so then we end up having everything and yet giving everything to who we have everything for or looking forward to then start all over again, which is what allows you to be a good man and a good serving father. Just film. You have to believe. The things that others around you and your family cannot subject to overcome is why you can have the capability of having strength to overcome just that. The mind is where the heart is. The way that you have heart for things. But mostly what is familiar to you. You have to set yourself apart from familiarity. and be uncomfortable with what you do not know of, and continue to walk forward blindly. Your perception of poverty from receiving a sense of comfort of what we believe we know, that will set you there. It will keep you. Do what others cannot do. Make sure it's righteous though. And make sure that you earned it. Start to become a seed. Learn from the ground up. And don't have expectations. Don't expect. Better to give than to receive. And if we cannot give, God will give for you. He will give those people blessings. Those that helped you and supported you, they will see. So don't let not one man or woman come knocking at your door saying, "Where's my pay?" when God has risen them because of what you're doing righteously for others. They'll see everyone that supported you. They cannot say that God has not been there for them and has not blessed them. Some are probably already didn't know that they were going to be well known. Some already have their own business. Some are already in new partnerships. And some are possibly maybe overcoming their own defeats and struggles. They're starting to see a change. John was completing his course, so a lot of you supposedly know. I believe that you know. You're on the midst of completing your course, or you have already completed and passed. If you believe that you lost, you have no idea. Sons of the race of Abraham. Those among you who fear God, to us the word of this salvation has been sent forth, men, brothers, sons of the race. For those dwelling in Jerusalem and their rulers, being ignorant of this one and of the words of the prophets which are read every Sabbath, fulfilled them by judging him. And though they did not find one cause of death in him, they asked Pilate that he be done away with. You have accomplished. One knows that they need to repent because of their proclamation prior to what's now being set in place. I fell asleep, yet you will not hear me, would you? Am I corrupt, or will you return? You did not fall asleep, maybe temporarily. Some of you just did not know. And yet we still punish ourselves. Don't do that. Just pray, that's it. Pray for what you did not know. God knows your heart, He knows you did not know. Some of the people believe that it was an avenger for wrath, or for punishment, or to come back for revenge and terror. No. The sword was not bared in vain. It was for their own saving, for their own redemption. For their own works of darkness. And because of what they surrendered to. It had nothing partaking with any of you. There's no need for you to resist or feel as if someone's opposing. It's because of your conscious mind. And my due tax and my due interest. You are just practicing love. And how to love. We owe nothing to anyone except to love one another. For he who loves the other has fulfilled the law. That's it. Just love. And if one isn't weak, just consider. Even if you're weak, God will still work with you. He's not trying to pass judgment towards you. Sometimes it's just not for a purpose. It's just love. That's it. Even if our gospel is veiled, it is veiled in those who are perishing. We come from knowledge and from our hearts, not to shine. And even to preach to ourselves. God is the one that fulfills your soul with truth of craftiness and creativity. Those that come also understand that they are in their own encampment. They are in their own tent. They are in their own prison. They are captured. And they are also serving enough to illuminate knowledge. There are also people that are in their conscious and they're struggling and suffering. And they know what they need to do in order to be lifted and to be saved. Most of the time it has nothing to do with the purpose. It's just what they know that they needed to do. They no longer want to be there anymore. They no longer want to dwell in darkness anymore. They just want to change. Those are basically the seeds that are on the side of the sidewalk. And there's neither sun, nor water, nor rain. And then all of a sudden, the wind comes, overturns the seed into the dirt. Then rain comes, and then the sun. your slaves for Jesus' sake. 2 Corinthians 4:2-5. Second Corinthians 9:7-15, as I implemented in regards to supplication of multiplication of the seed. The necessity for God's love and a cheerful giver. God is able to make all grace and abound unto you, that in everything, always having all sufficiency, you may abound unto every good work. He has given to the poor, his righteous abides forever. He who bountifully supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will supply and multiply your seed and cause the fruits of your righteousness to increase. I believe most of you understand that. I just broke it down. Good evening. The ministry of this service is not only a filling of the lack of the saints, but is also abounding through many thanksgiving to God. Approving of the ministry or glorifying God based upon the subjection unto the gospel of Christ that issues from your confession, and upon the liberality of the fellowship to them and to all, is to confess to oneself first, before we speak unto others. And once you do that, you are basically liberating yourself. There is nothing bad to speak of anymore, but only justifiable good works, because that's where your soul is, that's where your sense of newness is. You can no longer do harm, and if you do, I believe that you will prey on it because you did not know there's a difference. The heart can no longer deceive itself, put itself in a form of deception. It's awake. It sojourns and it abides, and it's obedient. And it listens to its maker, its creator. Thanks be to God for his indescribable gifts. Most of them were a mystery, yet presented to you. One of the gifts was what? Confidence. This type of confidence is from above. And then walking. No war according to the flesh, though. Oh, the last of the days, markers will come, with marking going on to according to their lust. They escaped them by their own choosing, that be by the word. The heavens were of old, and the earth was compacted out of water through water. The second letter, sincere mind with a reminder, beginning of your creations. There is a promise of his coming. Yet some fell asleep and they continue. So they still have to go through this. No, they don't. Because if God gave you a reminder, then you still have time. in darkness. You are living and yet you are dead. There's a watchful that's being established to remain which were about to die. Sometimes people repent, not knowing what they're actually repenting for. Repented and then still being watched. And yet none of the work that they surrendered or repented for worked. So then what can be established? You, though. You can pray for them. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Shepherd them with an iron rod, as the vessel of poverty are broken in pieces, as I also receive from my Father. Hold fast until I come. Blessed be with all of you. And make sure that you come through righteously. We are all protected. Most of us. Make sure that the intentions are righteous and pure. Most of his people are highly protected. Just make sure, like I said, your intentions are pure. Please understand that brothers and sisters that are doing this, they don't like it as much as you do. And remember, they didn't choose this path. God chose it for them. But it's part of what they have to do. And testify themselves as true, as their own testimony and truth to itself, Demetrius, in order for them to be born again, to become closer, even more close than ever. Because at that time, those that he initiated and picked, they were also lost with themselves and were also struggling. They also suffered. But remember, they have a choosing. But once you surrendered, there is no going back. And you must be obedient, because if you're not, 6 feet under is much closer than you think. Not trying to scare his people, but it's true. When God says he speaks as if it's like a thunder or lightning, that is true. And if you believe that selling away for just pieces of silver, betrayal is also not keeping to your word. That's also betrayal. One must stand firm. A lot of you have to understand you are not prophets and priests, you're not messengers. A lot of you really have to understand you're meant to cast out. The more they put on you, the more stronger you are. The more that they are against you, the more stronger you are. The more God charges you up, like a battery. So, apologies. Motivating. A lot of people become inspired and innovated, motivated and determined. So want to do good. But they see the discipline. And they know that it's different because it's consistent. Even though there was doubts and lack, you guys still prayed for it and you kept it moving.
It's been a lonely road trying to survive. So you gotta get.
So, guys, don't be your own sellout. And don't give up on God, especially God. And don't sell him out for anything. Just continue to grow and build. He's watching you enough to know when to keep you shut. And for you to know when to speak. And what to say. Because everything comes from the heart.
Trying to survive. Damn Lord, when it's my time to shine. Something gotta change. I'm still alive. I know I have a purpose to shine bright in the dark.
Those that are meant to cast out, may God continue to expand you, advance you, so that you would have the strength to cast out easily, not needing to speak. But be patient with him because he's coming. And congratulations to those that he has come to. And you had more than double grace. That's when you know God's pleased with you. And don't try to harm one of his people. Touch not my anointed. In God's name. Amen. Take care, guys.